Hey guys, Natural Progressive. I know I've been away a little bit. That's mostly because I've been working my tail off. Um, this time of year, my job gets super physical and just mentally exhausting on top of it. So, very sorry. Um, but today I just wanted to, since I've got a breather, worked my 40 hours, and now I can um, rest up and focus on other things for a minute. What I wanted to kind of talk about, we're getting ready. I've been collaborating with Independent Outsider. We're getting ready to launch kind of an initiative to bring together as many independent channels as possible on some common goals. And we're going to bring up those common goals or something that could facilitate our common goals here shortly. Um, But in the meantime, I would like to see people focus on similarities instead of differences in our goals because we need to bring kind of the left and the right together in more of a progressive populist type of movement instead of pitting one side against the other. That is not going to help anybody. So just keep in mind that and try to look for similarities. Try to look at other channels that may have different viewpoints than you and maybe try and understand where they're coming from a little bit. And I think that could help. Um, but one thing I want all sides to consider is the corporations right now are controlling our government, they're controlling our country. And I don't remember our Constitution saying we the corporations. I remember our Constitution saying we the people, that is a government for and by the people. And I don't believe our representatives are actually representing us. Instead, they're representing the corporations. And that is one thing that I hope all sides have in common. Right now, the corporations are utilizing the labor force, which is the everyday working person, not the wealthy, but the everyday working person who's paying taxes. Meanwhile, the corporations are getting tax breaks through a lower tax rate and loopholes. Um, when they passed the new tax plan, they said they were going to get rid of the loopholes that allow big corporations to get away with paying no tax or a smaller amount of tax. And that's one thing that is really, really hurting the working class, the people that produce for these big corporations. Meanwhile, the executives are getting outlandish salaries and golden parachutes and the corporations are utilizing our infrastructure without contributing to it. And I really want people to consider that fact that the middle class is carrying the burden of rebuilding the infrastructure while the upper echelon of the corporations and the wealthy are not contributing their fair share of taxes to the infrastructure that actually allows them to make the profits they do. If we didn't have the roads they use to truck their goods on, if we didn't have um, the the utilities and all that like built into the system, we wouldn't get those goods to us to the consumers, which is everybody. Everybody is a consumer, and we're kind of forced into different places to consume because the corporations are driving us that way. Meantime, they're making tons of money. Their executives are making tons of money while the labor force is making less and less and unable to live the lifestyle that they deserve after working 40 hours a week. Um, anyway, that's just something I would really like you to consider. And sorry I've been away so long. Just as a side note, I was in the middle of a discussion with the sane environmentalist, which I'm really trying to find some common ground there. Um, I mean, I'm all for the environment, having a really hard time finding that common ground, but um, he gave me some links to some scientists that um, I guess, don't believe in the climate change and the global warming and that it's human caused. And unfortunately, I lost and I cannot recover where that conversation was as much as I tried after a week of working like an insane person. So, I messaged him on one of his videos to see if I couldn't get that information again. I'm really super interested to find out where that comes from and research the background of the scientists. But anyway, guys, let's all come together for a common good. And that's my major point. I know we all have commonalities. We should be looking for those instead of our differences, um, to make this country better. It's too divided right now, and all the oligarchy that runs our country is in charge, and there's socialism for the wealthy, and everybody else gets left in the dirt, and that's not right. Our taxes should go to the community good, not just to support corporations and their executives. That is just my opinion. So, anyway, please comment, like, you can share, um, subscribe. That'd be great. I don't usually do that. I'm not in this to make money. I'm super opinionated and want to get my opinion heard and hoping to build a network of small channels to all work together. So, with the same message, and coming soon, the Independent Outsider and I, and maybe a couple others, are going to be um, delivering a message that I think most people would be on board with. Maybe not all, but most people should get on board with this. It's kind of cool and really similar to the Yellow Vest movement. Yellow Vest not required.